lost everything. We have to pay the price. I saw you when life was missing. You lit a flame that consumed my head. I'm not one for reminiscing, but I traded all for your sweet embrace. Yeah, 'cause we lost everything. We have to pay the price. There's a canvas with two faces, a fallen angels who loved and lost. It was a passion for the ages, and in the end, just we pay the cost. A thing of beauty, I know, will never fade away. What did it to me? I know. Say what you had to say, but a thing of beauty will never fade away. Will never fade away. Will never fade away. I see your eyes, I know you see me. You're like a ghost, like you're everywhere. I'm the demon never leaving, and met a soul of rage and fear. That one thing that changed it all. That one sin that caused the fall. A thing of beauty, I know, will never fade away. What did it to me? I know. Say what you had to say, but a thing of beauty, I know, will never fade away. I'll do my duty, I know. Somehow I'll find a way, but a thing of beauty will never fade away. I'll do my duty, yeah, will never fade away. Will never fade away. Will never fade away. Will never fade away.
Uh-oh. Hello! Hello, everyone. My name is Notepad Anon, and I write games for fun, so what are we doing today? Well, we're going to Elona. You may be wondering, Notepad, it's been a while. It's been a little while. There's a few good reasons for that. Many of those reasons include my keyboard fucked up. I literally have a plug-in keyboard, not a plug-in, I guess, it's a Bluetooth keyboard on top of my other keyboard. I actually learned how to disable my laptop keyboard for me to put this keyboard where my normal keys would be. This is the most jank-ass, like, bullshit setup I think I've ever done, and I kind of like it. It, really does give me that punk vibe, that I have no idea what I'm doing, please help. So, I'm going to walk everybody through the process of Notepad's computer fucks up. So, my computer decides that it doesn't want to use the E or D key. I go to a local place. That local place is like, cool, we'll fix it. I wait the entire weekend, and on Tuesday, I pick it up, and she's like, I didn't do anything. I'm like, cool. Then today, I go to Geek Squad, and they're like, well, I can't do anything here. You can wait 2 hours, mind you. You can wait 2 hours at the Best Buy for the guy to show up and maybe tell you something. Or you can leave. I'm like, I'm going to leave. So I left. With my swanky new keyboard. I know how to fix everything. I know how to do it. It's just going to be time consuming and annoying. How have you been? I've been doing well. I've been, keyboard is set up. I can now actually use my keyboard. Most importantly, I can do something that I haven't been able to do in the past while. And that thing is very simply, I can type the letter E and D. I can type E and D, everyone. This is an amazing thing. I can type 3 now as well. It's great. So, things have changed. We've done... it's not like I didn't do any work, because I am compelled to work. I am compelled to do it. I find it enjoyable. We currently have 11,111 words with 46 pages. Yeah, we've got a little bit of stuff I did. So, I'm gonna try to walk through everything that occurred. Now, this is the lore. I did my best with the lore. I'm going to probably have to go back and like double check everything here, because it is very complicated, and you have things... to give you a good idea, the entire lore of Elona doesn't make sense. The Elona lore is run off of fairy tales and magic. Not the good variety. I mean it makes no goddamn sense, and they even outright say, it doesn't make any sense, don't think about it. If you, the one that asks if you had to use a D20 for this system, how would you do it? I would use the Notepad D20 system, which is D20 plus modifiers, try to beat a target number, except all the attributes are actually approaches. That's literally it. I would just use my system that I wrote for a long time ago. I've been meaning to update it. I actually have a notebook full of notes, which are literally just me going on to fix things. I got to the point of obsession over the weekend. Oh goodness. Yes, approaches. The idea behind Notepad D20 system is what I'm going to be retrofitting it to be anyway. Is the idea of approaches. You can do things in a variety of different ways, whether or not you want to act against it. You want to do the opposite, or do you want to do the effectively, kind of give into it? An example of this, you have an attribute known as ferocity. If you want to act ferocious, if you want to kick down the door and start cutting people apart, then you're going to be rolling ferocity. But if you want to be a little bit more calm approach to things, you're going to be rolling against ferocity. You'll be trying to roll under it. There's some things I don't quite know how I want to do them yet. I'm going back and forth on it, so I'll play that by ear. But yes, we did lore. We did a lot of lore. So I'm just gonna go back. I'm just gonna go just down of the magic lore that makes absolutely no fucking sense. I managed. The thing is, there's a lot of lore which can be more accurately described as situations or moments in time than anything. Because I can't even say it's like it's a if and or but perhaps kind of lore. Everything is referenced from a certain point, like Blue Archive. In Blue Archive, there is no set lore necessarily. There are things that occur before, after certain events. In Elona, things happen. You don't know why. I don't know if there's a purpose to it. Things just occur, and I've been trying to figure out what's the ideal way of doing this. Most everything has been included. We got Karun, Verzia, and Munfernberry, Kajra, Nisea, and Kikis, Cyronia and Faso, Meiroon, the Palmia Jure territories, the Vindale Forest, Zanan, Ildurna, and Ural. Various things. These are all actual nations in the world that are never fucking mentioned because they are irrelevant. Two big things occurred here. I expanded out the number of ancestries. We have the basic Assyrian. Those are pretty much just humans who human. That's their literal gimmick. They are the most human humans. We added the Cardians, because I thought Cardians were interesting. We added Norlands, which Norlands are actually from Northern Tiris. Roans are actually very fascinating, or very funny, because the Roran in Elona, the Roran NPC race, because that's what they are, they're actually NPCs. However, the joke behind them is Rorans are pretty much just women. They're all just women, actually, including your little sister. Yes, you can get, is a starting pet you can add for a little sister, the little girl. She is a Roran. They are an actual, like, people, and I actually found lore on them, because that's an important thing. They are an actual lore. They have good charisma, very little dexterity, very little strength. They kind of suck, but they're there. Have no fear. Are these balanced in any capacity? No, they are not. Roran RP. Yes, Roran NPCs are all female. Because as the wiki likes to quickly dictate something. The Japanese lacks a sound for L. They don't really have L. They don't have L really. And if you put L's there, or Lauren, or Lorlin, or lollies, yes, because pretty much every Roran outside of exactly 3 of them are little girls, or are children in some variety. Yes, it's the lolly race. Have no fear, everyone. Yes, you can play the lolly race. I always knew you could. It's Lalafells all over again. But yes, we've got Elia, Ildurna. Fairies are a little bit weird. Goblins. Golems might get a change. Because they are specifically made out of stone, but they can bleed. Do you bleed? Metabolism's gonna get fixed up there. Exotic traveler. Cardian's entire thing is that they are effectively all Italians. Literally, there's an entire continent of Italians. That is the horrifying thing. Obviously we have mutant role in the ether disease chart. We have adaptable for Norlands. They just get more skill points. Rurans actually add favor whenever they use the charm skill, and sisterly, naturally smaller than most. Others try to protect the hero. Target priority is minimal when other threats are around. Add +1 pet slot. Yes, hello, Eyes of Crows. Hello. Doesn't that sound like an alternate D100 system with your version of a D20 version? Probably. Yes, welcome to Elona, Eye of Crows. Welcome to Elona. Gave them something to work with, because in one of Noah's articles, he talked about how the Roran are actually fairly important. Like, yeah, they're like an entire, like, subgroup of the Norlands. Yeah, that's the idea. That's the really stupid thing. I see the type of TTRPG this is. This is just Elona, my man. Like, this is just Elona. No, you want the real example of this? Here's all the skill charts. Have no fear. We've got many skills. Ancestral speed, I'm probably gonna have to fix that. Very many classes. Many classes. Have no fear. All of the item charts we went over. We need to do the attribute chart today. Here's all of the skills. Let me zoom out here a little bit. As you see, there are a few skills to worry about. We have to do feats. We have to do the entirety of the feat section today. We need to fix up HP and MP. We then need to do traveling the land, which is kind of like how traveling works, how harvesting and crafting works, how survival works, including the hunger system, and I need to put in the sleep system, what the Etherwind does. We're going to have to write the entirety of the dungeoneering section, various fame and karma things, and before I talk about combat, I talk about income tax. Before you learn how to stab a motherfucker, I'm gonna teach you how to do your fucking taxes. Elona is... How do I want to word Elona? Elona is a Japanese role-playing game roguelike. It's a Japanese roguelike, but it's one of those roguelikes. If you've ever heard of the crazy, wacky stuff people have done in Dwarf Fortress, or the, wow, look everyone, I've done all these weird and crazy things. That's Elona's MO. Elona's MO is, you walk into the first you walk into like the basic first dungeon, you rip and tear, and then you grab a shotgun and start gunning people down. You get your cursed sword of cursed swords, and then you de-enchant it so it doesn't have a curse anymore. But then you're like, I'm bored, and then you reduce the item quality, you reduce the item material to the point where you can eat it. Then you eat the sword, and then gain its stats. It's the kind of game where you do a quest and you get a nuclear weapon. And of course there's taxes in the game. Of course there are incomes by being a hero. You just get an income. One of the starting pets you get is a little girl. It's legitimately, hey, wow, look everyone, it's your favorite pet. It's a dog, a cat, a bear, a little girl. It's like, what the fuck? Very Japanese, very strange, very odd. A very odd game. And someone paid me money to write a TTRPG about it, so here we are. Talking about property tax. Oh boy, property taxes. The real fantasy is property. So yeah, that's the perpetual nightmare that we're currently in. Elona is kind of special for a variety of reasons, of just being a goofy game, or the goofy things going on. And goofy things are fun. So we need to... I did finally decide to give tourists an actual piece of equipment, which is just a Hawaiian shirt. We love property taxes. Hey, technically what happens... The big thing with property is very simple. Hello, Lubu. Is if you do not own property, the local law can come in and say, hey, give us 30% of your current assets. Of your current monetary assets as a vagrancy tax. Give us 30%. If you have 200 gold, cough it up. You're paying it up. You have 1 million gold on your person. Congratulations, you're coughing 30% up to Johnny Law. But the second you own property, the second you own a building or a deed, you're a resident. Isn't that just extortion with extra steps? Yeah, you're homeless and I'm the government, so give me your money. However, then it was like, hey, that's going to encourage people to buy a home or buy your property, because if you own property, you're considered a resident and you don't get taxed. There's no tax on you don't have a vagrancy tax anymore if you actually own property. So if you buy a house, you will no longer get completely extorted by the government. Is there a way to abuse this? Probably, yeah, and there should be. Oh yeah, no, I own this house over here. I own this 1-bedroom apartment. That's my home. That's what I own. That's all I own. I am very poor. Please give me money. Johnny Law is really the true villain of the story is taxation. Because I also learned that picking on the poor, love to see it. I did learn that in the Elona verse, in the world of Elona, murder is legal. Like, murder is just straight up legal. Like, if I walk up to you and I fucking stab you to death, just in the middle of the street, that's not technically illegal. However, counterpoint, it is also not illegal for the guards to stab you to death then. Like, it's not illegal, but it's not strictly good, and you will probably die if you fuck up. But if someone's mugging you, so it's a libertarian paradise. Yes. It is literally a libertarian paradise. Well, arrested for littering as the body slumps to the ground. It's like, if people do not like you, if people really hate you, they're going to just attack you. Like, they're just going to pop you and you're going to die and be like, yeah, technically you didn't do a crime by murdering this, like, person. Everyone just hates him, so he's dead now, so we're all happy. Wow, thanks. All my enemies are dead. Okay, so let's, now we get to the attribute chart. I've been slightly dreading this because I find this a very fascinating chart to do. Get ready for the nightmare chart, which is... I'm getting used to the new keyboard, by the way. Attribute rating, die modifier, flat modifier. Okay. So, I need to grab this. Yes, hello, Elona. Hello, Elona. Hello. Hello, Alakbar. Alakbar. And we're going to grab all these. To give you the complete nightmare that is the Elona RPG, we need to discuss... Okay, so, attribute rating. Freak, die modifier D1, flat modifier plus 0. 0. Little, D2 plus 1. D3, no, slight, D3 plus 2. Normal, D4 plus 3. Not bad. We need a new word for not bad. I hate not bad, but that's the technical actual term for it. Hello, phone. What would you like to tell me, phone? Is there something productive you want to tell me? Is there something interesting? Something vaguely good? My mom's been having a hell of a time. Hey, Notepad, apparently I've joined Power Rangers game using that book you ripped apart, the latest one. This should be interesting. Make sure it's the most recent printing. Because there are some very odd rules. If you, like... If it's a PDF, it should be fine. There's some ones that you can get... Some of the older ones have some bizarre rules, errors in them. So if you want to make sure, just double check. because I am one of the firm believers, mind you, that the Renegade system can actually be decent. I think it can be good. I think everyone who's making it is just a complete cretin and doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. I just think everyone else is stupid. Let's see, so flat modifiers, freak like me needs company. So, after determining both ancestry and class, the hero will add their attribute ratings together by referencing the following chart. Each rating will have a corresponding die value and bonus added together to determine the attribute of the character. So, I'm going to put an example in here. We're going to make example, Roarin Claymore. We're going to make a Roarin Claymore just for the meme. So, making an example, we'll use, Roarin Clay, we'll just do, we'll create a Roarin Claymore. Make an example, we'll create Roarin Claymore. So, we're going to go up here and we're just going to double check all our skills, all our stats. So, we have strength, con, dex, perception, learning, will, magic, charisma. We're making a claymore. So, we're going to be doing good. Actually, we'll start with our ancestry. We want to make a Roarin. Are you Roarin 234? You have my multiple notes. Slight, dex, normal, Good. Then we go down here to our claymore. We are going to be making a claymore. So, strength, good. Claymore. It's a little bonus here, little. Then we get normal dexterity, normal, and then normal perception. And then we get a little bit of extra magic, some slight extra magic. There we go. This is slightly off kilter, and it's going to drive me insane until I fix it. So, example of Roaring Claymore. So strength. Slight is slight, which is going to be D3. D3 plus 2 plus D6 plus 5. Light good. Constitution. I'm not typing super fast. It's, again, I'm doing my best here with a new keyboard. It's very strange. YouTube. Dexterity. Normal. D4 plus 3 plus D4 plus 3. Luckily, I can literally just copy paste this down for perception. And then here is actually just D plus 3. Because she doesn't have a bonus to it. That's kind of the big thing there. Our girl does not have a very high chance of being smart. You beat people up, don't be smart about it. Remember that, kids. D3 plus 2. Do you believe in magic? Actually, good. That would be D6 plus 5. So, looks kind of terrible, but we're going to fix that up. Make it look a little bit nicer. We're going to enable table. Ooh, we want to select everything here. We're gonna go up. Okay, let's do. Okay, so. Trying to keep things at least relatively much easier said than done. Let's see. Oh, this should be interesting. It's off roll 20, so fuck if I know. Yeah, if it's roll 20, it's fully updated. What kind of keyboard did you choose? Something cheap, or did you get something quality? Personally, I've been waiting to get my hands on a modern M keyboard with all the bells and whistles. I bought a JLab, JBuds keyboard, multi-device wireless key. Bluetooth one. It cost me $40. That's it. That's it. I got a JBuds because it's cheap and it was just the right size for me, and that's all I needed. Because quite literally, kind of like give you the idea of my setup here. The exterior keyboard is on top of my actual keyboard, and I just uninstalled all the other keyboards. I literally did uninstall my other keyboards. They are no longer available to me currently. Until I restart my computer, that is. I feel like I need to make this as... do I have to do a micro table? Attribute name, slight good, equation, final result. We want to do this is slight good, slight good, slight good. Yes. Slight good. D3 plus D6 plus 7. And then a final result. So we're going to take 2d6 here. We rolled a 3 and we got a 1. We've got a 4 plus 7. We ended up with 11 strength. One of our best results, we ended up very bad. Constitution, we ended up with slight little, which is D3 plus D2 plus D2 plus 3. D3, we ended up with 1. And we ended up with 2. So that's 6. We ended up with 6. We're not doing too hot team. Maybe dexterity will be the thing that saves us. Okay, come on. Come on, rolls. All right, I believe we're going to be a dex fighter. We rolled a 4. We rolled a 10. We got a 10. We're not going to be anything at this rate. We are not Poggin. We are not Poggin squad. This is not Pog squad. We are not doing it. 7 plus 6, of course. So we have a 13 in our perception. Our learning ability is D4 is just normal, which is just going to be 1d4 plus 3. 7. Our willpower roll. Okay, now's the time. We're going to get a good willpower roll, right, everyone? Right. We get a real good willpower roll. D4 plus D3 plus 5. So D4, we got a 4. Okay, we're pogging. We got a 4, 6. We got an 11 there. Wow, you really suck at everything, actually. You're just really bad at this whole thing. Like, legitimately just bad. You're bad at this whole adventuring thing, ma'am. You need... Her stats are not very good. Charisma, she has good there, which is D6 plus 5. She rolled an 8, so got an 8. There we go. That is what her basic stats would look like. Let's truncate these down a little bit. Keep things nice. Even, how much room do we have here? Something like this. Something like that. We get you. For example, we'll create a Roaring Claymore. We'll create a Roaring Claymore. Make an example. She may not be the the strongest, fastest, or anything really, but she does have the heart. She does have the heart and the eye for adventure. Yeah, she's kind of bad. Like, those are really bad. Those are really bad stats. I love it how just inconveniently sized everything in... So actually, maybe if we do... Because everything in the Elona RPG currently is just inconveniently sized, because there's just so much shit per section. That's just the modus operandi at this point. There's just a lot of shit per section. We'll slap an image right there or something. We'll give her, so these are her stats. Very actually, I'm not responding to things. It's not because I'm ignoring you, because I'm in focus mode. It doesn't matter if she has an eye for adventure, she loses at the first combat. Yeah, pretty much. She's not gonna have great skills. The big thing with her is that she's going to have pretty good ability with a bow. Unironically, she's gonna have decent ability with a bow, so she probably is going to be a claymore with a gun. Let's see, as soon as I get going, I'm able to spam manlays as I desire. I need rules in my head, then convince not scared of the table, which will be easy to play D&D 5e, but they haven't played anything else since D&D 553. The thing is, the Essence 20 system is not... The Essence 20 system is not complicated. The weird thing with it is that there's just a lot of Essence 20. And I would also tell your friend to casually ignore the rules regarding the classes. Just ignore them. Because it's going to be like, oh, you want to play a blue ranger? No, I want to play the red ranger who's just smart. Because technically, in that game, you cannot play in the official Power Rangers game. You cannot play a red ranger who is smart. That is a physical impossibility. Because only blue rangers are allowed to be smart. Only real heroes are allowed to have a brain of above 5. Alright, so, let's see. So if we want to be, here's what we can do, actually. What I'm gonna do, we're gonna sort that. So here's our stat rundown if we do it by alphabetical order, which is decent. I think we can manage that. I have to readjust them up here, but that's just gonna take time. Yeah. Hey, Claymore, what are you gonna start with? Have no fear, I have my cloth Claymore. Oh boy. Okay. One of the heroes' foundations are their skill ratings. Each skill is a particular field of study or activity the hero can engage in while in the field. Separate rating dictated by the proficiency in that particular in that skill. Hero possessing an 80 guarding is far more accomplished herbalist than a farmer that has 120. Then a farmer, then an accomplished and a farmer. Hero possessing 80 guarding is far more accomplished herbalist and farm. Okay, let's see. The hero possessing 80 guarding is far more accomplished herbalist and farmer than one with 20. Each skill is broken into a larger category: combat, defense, production, technical, arcana, and personality. Your ancestries and class will be assigned bonus points based on the category rather than particular skill. In this case, any skill you choose inside that category. Skills have specialties. Each skill maybe have a number of these, which reflect a more intense training than a single aspect, such as particular weapon type, artistic style. Specialty comes up, the hero may re-roll one of their d10s from the percentile roll, hoping for a better result. For example, if they have 5 in stealth with specialty in urban stealth, they roll 2, attempt to re-roll the 5 results and attempt to do better. Regularly, a hero does not start with a skill specialty. Heroes do not start with. Then we do weaponry. I do a very basic rundown of here's what they are. And all of them are going to be defaulted to something like this. That's going to be your base rating. So her base rating for axes is 33. She's not bad with axes. With long blades, she's going to add her strength, dex, and dex. So she has a strength of 11. What's her dex? So she's going to start with 31. She's technically better at swinging an axe than being a long sword fighter, but she gets a bunch of bonuses being a claymore. Block, evasion, parrying, ward. These are going to need something. I don't know what to do with those, but we will work on it later. Production skills. One of the things that I wanted to get across was that hey, having a 20 plus is working knowledge. You're able to identify and understand various facets. A skill rating of 50 plus is a journeyman of understanding. Allowing them to craft decent goods with available time and tools. Effectively, it's kind of the idea of the higher your rating with something, higher your skill rating, the more in-depth you know about it. You are far more comfortable with it. You are far more in tune with it. It's, hey, I'm a journeyman cook. And they could look at me and be like, hey, Notepad, I want to make. I have a 55 in cooking. Can I make a roll to see if this is poisoned or not? Is this good food? And be like, yeah, roll. I rolled a 50. Well, so what's the result? being like, hey, you're looking at this food is clearly like not good. It's cheap, it's very, to the point. If you manage to get an 80 or, kind of like an 80 or 100, you're pretty much you're pretty fucking good at it. So pump those skills. Oh, Sencho Do game. Oh, I want to run the Sencho Do game. Yeah, that's the tank game. It's great. It doesn't matter if she's an eye for fish, but please, yeah. Yes, use the tank game. Tank game is jank, though. I'll say that. It's always jank. Everything I make is jank. That's the secret. The wonders of scientific elements and manipulating them with vaguely magical means. Works of legends and the insane. Some of them are like that. You actually have to learn. You have to learn alchemy to use alchemy, kind of thing. You can't just start learning, like, I just know alchemy. No. Like, that's not how that works. From simple horseshoes, the work in woodwork won't do itself. From meat to vegetable and everything in between, cooking is an art form, and only a true artist. Cooking is art, and having a tapestry. Need to get a little bit more. You dare disturb the fishermen while they are in the meditative state. For fish fear them, people fear them, for they are alone in this. The green thumb, jewels and other valuables. Jewels and other valuable stones are prized by many, or finding them. Back-breaking work for some, an enjoyable afternoon of digging in the ground for others. Cloth, leather, and neither kind of clothing, textile. Any kind of textile. Textile is time-consuming, but lovely should come out correctly. There we go. Technical. Fans, weaponry. Technical skills, kind of the same idea. Analysis, paralysis. I'll probably go through and fix some of these up. Arcana works pretty well. Arcana is the magic, it's kind of the magic bullshit. That's kind of the idea. The best way to think about magic in Elona is you can have a lot of MP, but you can be dog shit at magic. You can be really good at magic and have no ability to use it. It's a lot about learning as just as much about as having the means. A gun is useless without ammo. A bullet is useless without a gun. Okay, so. I did technically put faith in there in case you want to be a godly individual. Personality. Three different types of perform, by the way, because I'm a psychopath. No, monsters and their languages, able to acknowledge a creature's key. Especially street performers. Because street performers are actually a monster type in Elona. Rouse, lower, Work one's charismatic ability physically, trying to impress others without saying much. this is both like, hey, I'm very, very sexy, I'm very impressive, but this is also doe eyes. Like, oh god, I literally cannot say no to you. Fuck. Ah, busker. Hi, sir. Would you like a song? Bang, bang, bang. Literally, like, you open up, like, some of the most basic, like, the most basic dungeon. You go down there and you meet a street performer, and he attacks you, and then you beat him to death with your hammer. Damn, street performers. Not even once. Business deals are in more formal occasion between employer and employee. Negotiation is kind of like your default state. It's not very, like... I think the best way to think about it. We are working with someone who wants us to negotiate with. Like, we are working with a merchant, and he wants us to make some... So we're gonna make some money. And he needs us to deliver goods to another town. Using negotiation is very formal, just business. Like, hey, we're trying to strong arm for a better deal. We're trying to make not. Negotiation's kind of like your default. Etiquette you're now kind of working with someone of noble birth. They're going to look at you a little bit more like, please give me something. I'm better than you. Ha ha ha. Carouse is we are working with effectively the peasantry. And the peasantry wants to work with us a little bit more. You can always use negotiation, but it may not be as effective. Also, we have our hundreds of instruments exist, from melodic horns to soothing strings. Physical performance may be tumbling, dancing, or acrobatic. All of which are exhausting. So, vocal performance, sweet singing voice, and act for keeping people laughing or weeping with the performance. Understanding the urbanites and their trends, fighting people or places. Finding people or places in the city. Understanding the urbanites and their trends, finding people in the city or who want to. Yep, then we bleed along, developing power. So, this is where things start getting a little bit funky. Okay, funky is the name of the game. Aesthetic. Because the thing is, you may be wondering, like, why are they all like, why, Notepad, why did you write all of these to be so terrible? I wrote these to be really terrible because I had to. Because I actually didn't have like any word processors on my 2016 Asus Chromebook that I had. Because that's what I was actually working with, just a 2016 Asus Chromebook. It wasn't pretty for anyone involved. So, conquer darkness. Empathy, add favor when interacting with friends or allies. Choose a god, start devoted to them. Poison tolerance, should add the gods. Because the gods are very important, because that's the fucking idea of the Nephia, but the Nephia isn't really, that's not really the case. A little bit wonky in that regard. Rational mind. Magic resistance. Miracle star. If you ever get reduced to 0 HP, you don't die fucking immediately. Jitsu, which I need to, when we get to actually how damage works, these are going to make a lot more sense. pretty much I added 3 different types of actual fighting, like unarmed fighting, to give an idea of this, kind of like basing it off of what more than anything. Hypnotism's probably not going to make the final cut, if that makes sense. Accountant's probably going to get changed as well. We need to highlight carrying capacity, natural leader. If an item is cursed. Mental face. Add favor when using the charm skill on vulnerable targets. Then finally, Magic Eye, which allows you to attack people's MP. This may seem a little bit weird, but MP also does 3-to-1 HP damage if they run out of the MP. So yeah, attacking someone's MP is actually a pretty valid option. Especially if you're fighting wizards. So let's see. Sort table. Most of the feats are from the game itself. I added some that were a little bit in the spirit, but not directly. Ah, Buska, is this an anime purge? Hey, no, but did you know that PETA demanded the Marines stop killing and drinking snake blood? The Marines ignored it. Yeah, no shit. Nobody listens to PETA. PETA doesn't listen to PETA. Just always remember, PETA is barely a functional organization. That's always one thing you must remember. So let's do accountant. We are going to I'm going to mark accountant as maybe not great. Agile, we're going to change agile to add +1 speed during overland travel. Increase life, but life isn't quite right. It's going to be increase ancestral HP and essential bonus HP by 2. Believer, choose a god star devoted to them. Boxing does strength. Gonna mark that in red just so I don't forget. Concentration, spend an action to gain favor on the next casting check. No, conquer darkness, pretty decent. On evasion check, move 1 square. Empathy, add favor when interacting with allies or friends. Pretty much the more people who consider you a friend, the better empathy is going to get. Empathy is literally about, I want to make friends, I want to have pets, I want to be a good person. Move half speed before initiative is determined. Item is cursed, roll 1d10 on an even. On an even, it is cleansed. Hypnotism. I don't know about hypnotism because it's kind of a weird thing. Lucky, reroll a single check every session. Magic Eye. Here raises, he may take MP instead of HP for the target of an attack. Magical Gene. We're going to be doing and bonus MP. Ancestral bonus MP. by 2. Miracle Star. If hero would be downed by an attack. Downed by an attack, they are reduced to 1 HP. Can occur once per full rest. What is this? Pancreation. +1 pet slots. For mass carrying capacity, rational mind. Going to just, again, marking some of these that I know they need to be fixed up for later. Damage reduction. Combat speed increases by +2. That's fine. Tough. Add 10 HP. Add +10 HP. Doesn't seem like a lot. However, you get things like the fairy, where increasing their ancestral bonus doesn't really give them much. Like, this is like giving 10 HP is a big flat increase for them, and tough is just going to get better over time because all of these are like level 1. That's kind of the way to think about these. Ignore defrauding PETA would be okay because they do it to themselves. Yeah. Is Star Wars just science, fantasy, space, cowboys, and samurai? Yeah, pretty much. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's Star Wars is quite literally a setting designed around the concept of what if all the cool things that I thought were cool were happening because I'm cool, because these things I like. It's George Lucas being like, man, wouldn't it be cool if this happened? Hit points or HPs here is their hit points, HP, must determine their hit points and mana points. Mana points. Hit points are HP's hero's endurance ability to keep fighting. When HP reaches 0, they have con until round, so they bleed out or succumb to their wounds. Hero's magical reserves. Should MP reach 0, they will begin to overcast, drawing from their health pool to 3-to-1 basis, paid for their cost of the spell. That's worded funky. So we're going to rewrite this. So, hit points, HP, Hero's natural endurance and ability to keep fighting. During their adventure, the heroes will gradually be worn down as their HP begins to dwindle. Should a hero's HP reach 0, they are down. When a hero is down, they have con divided by 10. They have their constitution divided by 10 plus 1. Constitution divided by 10 plus 1 rounds to either be healed or stabilized by an ally or magical effect. Should they fail to do this, they will perish. Mana points. MP is the hero's source of magic and their ability to manipulate arcane energies around them. Casting spells, or using ability, casting spells, or having it drained, or having it drained, or certain magical items. Using certain magical items will reduce the total MP. Reduce the total MP the hero has. When they reach 0 MP, they may still cast spells. They may still cast magic, or have MP draining effects on act upon them. Except they will reduce their health instead. Their HP instead. This drains at a rate of 1 to 3. 1 MP equals 3 HP. Equals 3 HP. Potentially resulting in drastic overcasting. And death. Like, just don't forget that. And death. You could also just die violently. That's also an option. Oops. Oopsie doopsie. Uh-oh, didn't mean for you to explode and die. What a shame. About any you're not important. Bring on the boys. So we need to do bump. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 7. We're going this. Column to the right. We're going to do this. We're going to delete 7 rows. We're going to insert a column to the right. Insert column to the right. Currently, we are going to make all of the columns. Okay, what it looks like at 1. Let's reduce. No, let's keep it at 1. We're going to reduce U down to 0.85. U down to 0.8. Actually, what it is, go above. Ancestry. We need to do HP, MP. There we go. HP, Assyrian. They have 10, 10. 10, 10, 10, 10. Elia are actually a little bit less fragile. Because this is kind of like the idea is like your race, your ancestry is going to give you kind of your baseline for how much HP you're going to end up with and how much HP per level, how much, MP per level. It's also going to be kind of an indication of like, hey, if you are playing a golem, you probably are not going to play a fucking wizard. That is not your MO. And in case you're wondering, yes, this is exactly how they handle it in the game. This is exactly how they handle HP and MP. Well, it's vastly more complicated, but they do handle it in similar capacity. I think I'm gonna give Zanan a little bit. Zanan's gonna have some issues. Yeah, okay. Generally speaking, I'm gonna break up short rests and long rests, kind of D&D-esque, because D&D-esque is easy. Wizard, you saw you and he lollified you in the show or some shit. Hey, Notepad. You had to be Shena, if Notepad, if you had to be in Sencha Do as a tank commander, what type of tank would you take? Like light tank destroyer, heavy assault tank? Saw you and lollified you into the show or some shit. Personally, I take a medium tank destroyer, so I'm gonna snipe the fuck away. Give me a super heavy death machine that it will be comically impractical in 95% of situations, except when I do shoot you and you explode. Have no fear, everyone. It's me, Notepad Chat. In my heavy fucking mouse. Because you get things like, the mouse tank will always be the comical, like, silly tank in my honest opinion. It's kind of the thing that has never, like, should never exist, did never exist, but it's so comical to think that if it did. Like, yes, Hitler, this is it. This is our Wunderweapon. This comically oversized super tank. Like, there are a few super heavy tanks that kind of made their way into various World War. Like, this is kind of like, yeah, here's the ultra heavy tank. Like, this is not a fucking weapon. This is not a tank. This is a fucking, like, weapons platform. Oh mein Gott. Hitler, we can't continue tank production. Oh mein Gott. What if we added more guns? This reminds me of, let me see, Hammer Slammers. Fucking Hammer Slammers, baby. If you want, like, military sci-fi bullshit, just enjoy Hammer Slammers. It is dumb. It is a dumb series for dumb reasons. God, how the fuck did I ever think they could make a suspension that would actually manage the mouse? It's a mini land ship. The fuck is Hammer Slammers? Hammer Slammers is part of this very rare kind of breed of sci-fi, like science fiction novel that existed for kind of like through the 90s and 2000s. You can still find them if you go to... If you ever get bored, I'm gonna tell everyone this. If you ever get bored, go to the Walmart book section. Go to any like big like retailer and go to the book section. You will find some A-class fucking Kino in there. It is either going to be Amish romances, the weird amount of Amish romances, or you're gonna find just weird shit. It's great. Because one of the things that they do is during kind of the 90s, 2000s, even the 80s, even 70s, 80s, especially 70s, 80s, 70s, pretty much 70s to the early 2000s, there were a lot of these series of books that were just kind of like cheap sci-fi stuff, kind of military science fiction stuff, because it was popular. They were relatively cheap to make, and you could get like dozens of books for some of these. When people say like, oh, you do 3 books in a movie, like something like Hammer Slammers. There's a few other ones. There were like a dozen books, like sometimes more, of just dozens of books. If you've ever read Harry Turtledove, Harry Turtledove is like a relic of that time, and there's a reason he is still around. Okay, so health and mana can be recovered. HP and MP. HP and MP. Variety of other special items found throughout the world. However, if the heroes take a short rest, they will recover all their HP and MP. Unconscious allies are brought back to 1 HP when the battle ends, barely hanging on until they can receive some much-needed rest or assistance. Already at the same time, they may attempt a medicine check. If successful, they will recover 2d6 HP immediately. A repair check is necessary Gollum. There we go. That is the basics of character creation. Like the absolute basics of character creation takes 35 pages. But not really, because there's a lot of lore stuff. It's not too much, relatively speaking. So, let's see. Adventuring the land, travel the world. Oh, hello. Hello, Kaloo. How are we doing today? Hello. What are you planning on making for dinner? I'm like, I don't fucking know. World of churches, depending on where it is. Whenever the hero is around an adventure toward a location, the DM will prepare a hex map for the surrounding area. Each hex is 4 miles in distance. For a normal human being at speed 4, this takes an hour to successfully cross. There is South is Victoria, not World War II on American soil. Yeah. Like Harry Turtledove. Let me bring up Harry Turtledove and his various books. People know him for like Guns of the South and stuff, but to give you an idea, these are all of the books he's written. The fucking man has written an absurd amount of books, like, because that's how he kind of made. That's how he does things. That's how you actually made money back then with the books. You would write a lot of like mediocre books effectively, just so they bought it. Like, yeah, he's pretty much famous for the Southern Victory books. That's like the thing that that's his big thing, is like, hey, it is the, Southern Victory is his big thing. World War colonization, that was one. Sometimes it's like, hey, there's magic here. Woo! Haha! Where was the one, oh yeah, the Atlantis series. Alternate History Hub actually has a really funny video on Atlantis, because it's just goofy. The Atlantis series is just goofy, but like fun goofy. Drill do a lot of TTR like BattleTech. Who did a lot of BattleTech? I can't remember who it was, but there was one guy I knew who did like an absurd amount of BattleTech stuff. Was it Turtle Dove? No, it was like the BattleTech, like, yeah, I know who it was. It wasn't Turtle Dove. It was another guy who wrote another weird book. It wasn't Turtle Dove. There was another guy who wrote a bunch of really weird books. BattleTech writers are built different, I've learned. They are just weird. Every BattleTech writer is usually like, yeah, here's some, like, strange, like, extremist ideology he subscribes to. Really nice guy. He's a really nice guy outside the fanatic right-wing extremism. You know how it goes. But fanatic right-wing extremism, it does kind of summarize my server sometimes. Also, you know, the fucking clans. Death the clan, kill clanners, dismember clanners, blow up clanner battle mechs, destroy clanners. The only good clanner is a dead clanner. Turn clanners into slag. Eliminate all clanner scum. It's all or nothing. Praise Blake. Praise Blake. See, I'm not even like super well versed in BattleTech lore. I just love LARPing as a lore, like a Word of Blake fanatic, because it pisses everybody off, and it's great. The word is Blake did nothing wrong. Let's see, terrain tie hostility rating. We actually need to make a 2x2. Developed speed rating 2, simple as speed rating 4. Pretty much the idea here is the more developed, the more like safe an area is, the easier it is to kind of travel through it. Which is, I think, pretty reasonable to say. Like, I don't think that's like a, oh man, that's completely unreasonable for you to think that, like, this is an easy, like, this is a well-developed area, and, like, oh no, like, we can never move through here. I'm like, yeah. Effectively, how this works is it takes an hour to cross a hex with a speed of 4 to cross a simple hex. So pretty much the idea is if your party has an average speed of 4, that means you're able to cross a simple tile in 1 hour, but you're able to cross two developed tiles in an hour. But you will not actually be able to cross a difficult tile in an hour. It's going to take you a little bit more than an hour. It's going to take you about an hour 15. It's going to take you 2 hours to cross a dangerous one. It's going to take you 2.5 hours minimum to cross a hellish one. Like, that's kind of the danger. Like, traveling through really hostile territory is bad. Roadway, calm. Roads do not have random encounters. Rough. Dangerous. Scary. Scary town. It's a real shithole. Man, Scary Town must be a real shithole. It's fine. Depends on when you go. Sorry, I only believe in the real nightmare, the dark bad. I know how to make. The worst part is, like, during my sabbatical, I was forced to kind of start thinking about things. And one of them was like, how do I make dark bad more game? And the answer was, just go, like, really ham on it. Right. But Notepad, where am I gonna get my giant Amazonian muscle waifu? I don't fucking know. Get inside the fucking mech. Oh god, Blake is super controversial. The word of Blake is funny. The word of Blake is hilarious because he is both hyper competent, but everyone around him is incredibly fucking moronic. It was a really bad thing, just all around. But just being a word of Blake fanatic is hysterical because, quite literally, Blake established the UN. Blake was like, yeah, go UN. But then they decided to make a religion out of the United Nations. That's the word of Blake. Like, that's the funny thing. They made a religion out of the UN. And everyone was like, this is stupid. It was like, yes, it is stupid. Get in the fucking mech. Get in the goddamn battle. Get in the battle mech. God damn it. So, harvesting and crafting. When a hero happens upon a resource in the field, whether a patch of woodland or ore vein in a dungeon, they are able to harvest. Depending on the size and quality of the node they are able to harvest, so we'll make an appropriate check to harvest resource. Going to do is... Fabulous. We're using very basic dice sizes here so you can more easily roll them. Actually, if I wanted to. Freak like me needs company. So we can actually do, let's see. We want to do D3 plus 2. So you're always going to get like 3 resources out of it. That's kind of the idea. Then since we go to D3, we do D3, which is going to be D4 plus 3. D5 plus 4. D6 plus 5. D7 plus 6. Let's see. Let's do some editing. Let's see. So, what hero happens upon a resource in the patch of woodland, depending on the size and quality of the node they are able to harvest, will be able to make an appropriate check to harvest the resource. They are successful, they will roll the node's value and harvest that much of a given resource. For example, mining node of D5 plus 4, they will roll D5 plus 4 and gain that many resources tied to the node. General or specific. Grant the specific nodes, just grant the chosen resource. If they fail the check, they will only receive the flat value. Only see the flat value of the resource as the others have been either ruined or unable to be harvested successfully. So, So it's kind of the idea of like, hey, you are stumbling upon something that you want to deal with, you're trying to harvest it, and you succeed. That means you're going to get just like a flat value. So instead of rolling, hey, you've got a good solid claim, that's D4 plus 3, you're minimum going to get an extra resource, which you get 4 more, you're not going to get as much. Let me guess, you're a Steiner man. So wait, Blake is Thrawn, but not liked by the fandom. No, Blake is, like, Blake isn't that cool. That's the funny thing. Like, I'm gonna pull up a picture of Blake, just to give you an idea of the fucking Blake in Battletech. Like, this is Jerome Blake. This is... Jerome Blake does not look cool. He's a fucking lame dude. Like, he just built the fucking UN. He is the father, like... He built Comstar, which is, like, effectively Space UN. Everyone liked the fact that he built Space UN. But the problem is the word of Blake deified effectively, like, the head of the UN to make him literally Jesus Christ. And everybody makes fun of him for that. Because he's a fucking goober. He's a dumb goober. Hey, he looks like the kind of, like, look at this fucking dude. He looks like the kind of guy who's gonna tell you about his fucking IPA collection. That is Jesus Christ in Battletech. Wait, shit, this is Neckbeard. Why is he fucking nerd guy from The Simpsons? Because he's literally just this guy who worked up power and influence to create the big UN, to create Space UN. And when he created the Space UN, he was like, cool. But the thing is, people were like, man, he's the greatest hero of all time because he created the Space UN. We are literally going to make him Jesus. Mm. Mm. Let's see. This obviously does not factor in. This does not factor in the scale, the quote scale of the operation. A forest has more wood than is than can be chopped in a single afternoon. A field of wheat can take a field of wheat is a multiple it takes many man hours and people to finish up, etc. This is one person's efforts in harvesting a resource. Kind of the idea here is like, hey, I'm not gonna factor in like, hey, you can only do this once or whatever, because I really don't know and I don't want to worry about that. To me, that is not essential, because like the current priority for the Elona TTRPG is I want to create a situation where you are invested in the world, if that makes sense. Why are you pinging me? Oh goodness, when a hero has some downtime, they are able to craft. During this time, they are able to take raw resources into refined resources. New objects to sell to the locals or use. To do this, the hero must have a purchase resources and make it back. Each crafting project has a scale and time invested associated with carving a few wooden cups may take an afternoon, but meticulously sculpting a stone statue may take each time interval, minutes, hours, days, or weeks. The hero will make a new check to determine if they are successful. If hero succeeds at half of these required checks, they have crafted well enough. If they fail too many of these checks, the entire work is forfeit and the resources lost. Epic. Wow, epic. Remember when people said epic unironic? I remember. Epic, man. Those were good times. We were a real society back then. People would say epic completely unironically, and there would be no like, oh man, no one uses epic anymore. I did. I used epic because epic was a cool word. And I'm tired of thinking that it wasn't. It was you who was lame, not me. This, we do this. Depending on the material used, the ability to produce good may increase or Basic crafting deliberately capture simple goods to turn into raw resources into baubles or trigger the pawn off, and they will make a single check for everything. Any critical or gamut used to increase the quality of the good, but failure will run the quality step low or outright useless. Use method to train crafting as well, allowing the hero to spend resources to mark a crafting skill instead of producing anything of physical value. We slap an image, a little simple image right there. Effectively, the idea behind crafting is it takes time. It's not necessarily, and if you spend gambits, the better you are at something, the harder it is for you to fuck it up, kind of thing. You want to spend gambits, the better you are at doing things, you're going to be able to get more things out of it. So, food is essential to staying alive. This shouldn't be regarded as anything too extreme to comprehend, but when the heroes are 2 miles below ground and begin gnawing on rats, they'll wish they pack some extra rations. Every time a hero rests, they will need to eat one meal. If they cannot, they will reduce their hunger count by 1 step. The gnawing hunger will make them more vulnerable to attacks and force them to begin improvising or die in the attempt. When the hero eats when the heroes eat abundance, such as good quality food, a lot of food, or even special items, they will be beyond satiate, granting an increased HP and MP for a time. However, these benefits dissipate down to normal during a rest, allowing short respite from needing another meal. During downtime, the heroes don't need to worry about eating, as it is assumed that they are eating enough to get by or being taken care of by their patrons or local staff, or friendly local. By their It's kind of the idea of like, we're working for a town to help them out with something. We can stay there for a night and they will actually help us out and feed us, because that's a nice thing to do with people who you are paying to kill things for you in an incredibly dangerous hunger value. I think I have to do. Yeah, if you can't eat again, you're going to die. Wow. Actually, should I do the percentages? It feels like such a small thing. Like, part of me wants to be like, you get a raw increase because you are a full boy. Bloated. Oh, I'm bloated. Actually, why don't I just add a row above? Modifiers. Dead. You're just dead because you didn't eat anything. You start, okay. Oh goodness. Welcome to the wonderful world of doing math. Okay, so we do that. We add an image right there. Do we want to add in a hunger chart? Do we want to add in a food chart? Maybe. I might add in the food chart. I might do that later, though. But what we're going to do now is rest. So resting keeps the heroes functional and ready for disaster should it strike. Heroes need to sleep. At least 6 hours. At least 6 hours every day. At least 6 hours. Actually, hours of sleep. Hours of sleep to remain. So about 8. We'll go with actually how long do you sleep in Elona? How long do you sleep? Let's figure that out. So, Dreams. Am I dreaming? You're married and choose to make a gene, you'll always be sleeping on the ground, resulting in no added bonus to sleep-based potential training through beds. This makes sleeping with spouses inferior to sleeping alone in a portable bed. However, if you have no portable bed, making a gene is a way to enter sleep at a time of your choice without relying upon luck with resting. Always remember, everyone, sleeping with your wife does not activate your almonds. That is inferior to sleeping, your own bed. Resting keeps you functional, ready for disaster. The heroes need to sleep at least, Mm. 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 Schedule poor does affect one's sleeping schedule poorly. Every day a long rest. Every day a long rest must occur. These have the heroes lay down their mats and get some rest as they recover their HP, MP, any negative effects currently afflicting them. If currently afflicting them. However, if the heroes do not sleep or are interrupted, they will become fatigued. They will become fatigued during this time. Their speed is reduced. They'll become fatigued. They will not recover any HP or MP during a short rest, and will need freely assign. I'm gonna be like, yeah, and the GM can just outright fuck you over if they feel like, because yeah, you're really tired. What's up? Inflict. Freely assign ruin to any check involving focus. If they fail to sleep a second time, they are exhausted, reducing their HP and MP by half. Until they get some much needed shut eye. Should they manage to get through another day without rest, they will collapse from exhaustion and begin sleeping. This is determined by the DM rolling a 1d10 at the start of every non-combat scene, and if it is even, they will pass out. So it's one of those things where it's like you need to just do it, and you need to plan around it a little bit. You need to be like, hey, we need to get some rest. We are very tired. We are not doing well. We need to rest. How do we rest? We have to secure a place for us to rest up for the night. Doesn't really seem that dangerous, but hey, we are currently we're taking time out of the day to rest up. And that's very kind of complicated. I should say, let's see. Quality rest. Should the heroes enjoy some quality downtime? Actually, no. I'm not gonna put that in, because downtime I want to be something else. Downtime is special, so I'm not worrying about that. So that's not really going to be I guess we can do, let's see, it would be hunger, rest, and being with a woman is not optimal. Being with your wife is not optimal. Sorry, here in Elona, we have to optimize our lives. You wouldn't understand. I'm on that Andrew Tate grind set. Ow! Bones! No! Why do people post cringe? No, I don't need this. Place an image there. We put rest. Here's the other wind. Can we put the other wind in on a single page? Not really. So can we cut some stuff? Once every 3 months, a shift in the nature of the world occurs. The other wind descends upon the land. May occur early in the month for Syria or later. It may occur early or late late in the month. The bluish flakes of power are an indication or a signal for people to start scrambling to homes or shelters at local inns. 10 days, the other wind will rack the world, mutating any unfortunate soul caught out in it, and developing their ether disease if they manage to survive. Any traveler caught out should immediately rush for cover or underground as monsters begin to mutate under its malicious howl. During the Etherwind, all travel is bumped up one level by a level of difficulty and danger and hostility. Being more complicated to travel during these conditions. For every hour they are trapped outside without proper protection, will gain a tier of ether disease. A gain of ether disease. Tier of ether disease. Every 2 tiers. Hero will roll on the ether mutation table below, gaining the effects immediately. At 10 tiers, at 10 stacks of ether disease. The hero collapse into either a mutated heap, begin hacking blood until they collapse, or have their heart stop immediately, or explode. During more prolonged exposure, hero may develop various symptoms: shortness of breath, hallucinations, weakness, fatigue. Ether disease can be eased with a cure corruption potion or certain magical equipment. But mutations will never truly leave the hero unless they are willing to cut off the offending new appendage, use powerful items to eat their burden. I think we should put Etherwind on its own page. We need to... I'm going to put the mutation table. I'm going to put the mutation tables below. I know what they're going to be. I know what they are. I just need to write them. So, Dungeoneering in the Depths. Fun fact, This is a pain in the ass. I hate writing dungeon mechanics. It's awful. It is the worst shit imaginable. Fate deeds comes karma. So, adventuring, looting, and bringing a hefty profit for those who are able. Money in the local enforcement officials would like a cut of. Adventuring heroes at the end of the month will have to pay their taxes to local officials if they are wandering vagrants, which often means extortion. Often means extortion of a little over 30% of their current wealth. Moving from town to town often avoids most of these issues, but flaunting money around will have the eyes of the law come down, attempt to cash in. If the heroes plan on settling down in the location for a time, they may choose to buy a deed to a building or land in the area. Purchasing the deed to a home, they are free to do as what they wish with the establishment, with the benefit of being resident. Vagrant tax being entirely removed. Owning a home as an adventurer can be a unique opportunity to set up a cozy pit stop between adventures, or a bunkhouse for their party to rest up without issue or high in costs. Once they have become a resident of the town, they are free to start investing in the local economy and shops. Heroes may approach shopkeepers and willing to invest into their store, not only improving the possible quality of goods available, but also receiving a cut of the profits store as well. The heroes don't set up their own business. At the end of every month, any business generating income will have paid out to the heroes who invest in it by the percentage they have invested into it. If starting their own business, the heroes will be paid out equally after all employees have been paid and necessities paid for. Though this won't stop local leaders from taking a percentage of tax on the business, with a tax ranging from 5 to 15% of the total income of the business is generating. Morally upstanding citizens, or less moral souls with the right connections, may avoid paying taxes entirely. I will write this out in a nice little chart. Good morning. Yes, good morning. Okay, so we've set everything up. We are in a better place than what we were. Let me just hit this button real fast. We are in a better state of being. This is important. Because we are in a better state of being, we now know what's going on. Property, taxes. The thing is what's going on. This is a vaguely medieval economy simulator. I am not doing too hardcore when it comes to like, oh, share price increases. No, we're not dealing with that. We are not doing that hardcore because you're effectively how I want to envision buying into a business. Is you are paying for 10%. You get 50,000, like for example, like a struggling business. You invest 5 times in it. You invest 50%. You're now it's going to promote up to being only a poor business. You've made money by default. Your $10,000 investment is now worth $15,000 investment. Next, if they make $75,000, if you pay in $75,000, they're going to promote up again. You're going to go to average. Yeah, the big thing that I'm making a call for the Elona game. The big thing with the Elona game is I want you to feel invested in the current state of affairs. I want the DM, and I want the players to be doing things and like making money, and we're selling goods, we're hawking wares. And then pause for a second and being like, hey, we have money, why don't we make some more money by investing? Why don't we burn this money and buy some new stuff that we need to complete our objective, because we are effectively in the business of adventuring. That's our business. Because, hey, if we're stuck at the end, if we're in a town at the end of the month, we are going to get fucking robbed, effectively. We are going to get robbed by the local government. They are going to take 30% of our total assets right from us, and we will not have any opportunity to stop them. However, if we own property here, we're fine, but then you want to be a little bit of a dick, saying like, hey, yeah, I invested in property, you did not. So I'm a resident of this town, you aren't. You're getting 30% of your money taken away, I'm not. So it's kind of that idea of being like, you could be a dick about it, or you can be very, you can work together. It kind of depends on how the GM handle it. But then you invest in places, it kind of gives, I want you to feel invested in the world. That's the big thing with this. I want you to feel invested and be like, hey, we want to buy a house because a house is going to let us sleep in it. And now we're starting a shop. What do we do in our shop? Well, in this shop we use to sell all our crafting goods, because we're all crafters. We're all dwarven crafters. And we make a shit ton of goods during our downtime, and we're going to sell it all in our shop. We need more goods. What do? Go to the quest to do the thing. So, wait, what's to stop a person from buying a shop or stall and sleep outside the city to avoid the taxes? The big thing there is when it comes to how downtime is going to be, how I'm going to be doing it is, because in Elona, they have a thing called potential. Potential is the amount of experience you will get per skill. If I have 100% potential in something, I'm going to get 100% of the experience points I get for doing it. But the more experience points I get, the lower my potential is. So if I get 100 experience points at 100%, I'm going to get 100 experience. But later on, I'm going to get 100 experience, but I'm only going to get 90 because my potential lowered. And you can do things to bump your potential up. I have 200% potential, so I'm getting 200 XP from 100 XP. The way they do that, the way to reset your potential, is to sleep in good beds. The better your bed, the better your sleeping conditions, you're actually going to increase your potentials. How I'm going to do potentials in this game is the number of advancement rolls you're going to be able to get per category. If you are sleeping well, if you're investing, if you're in a good place and resting a good place, you're going to get more potentials to actually roll. You're going to get more things refunded. If you're sleeping outside the city to avoid taxes, you're going to get nothing back. You are legitimately going to get nothing. So you are going to be in a position where it's like, oh hey, I marked a bunch of skills to level up, but I have no potential left. So I can't actually get anything more. I can't increase any of my skills even though I've marked them. Even though I have the option to do this, I can't. So I need to rest in a better place, I need to sleep, in safety and things like that. That's kind of the idea. If you do buy a house, you don't need to worry about it. That's why it's kind of the idea, the vagrant tax is also a, hey, I want you to encourage to either move on or buy some, or invest. Invest in this place that you care about. Hey, you really want to stay in the city of Ural? And hey, yeah, stay in the city of Ural. You buy a house. Doesn't have to be a big house. You buy a house for all your buddies. Wouldn't it be easier just to buy a business and make the top floor of a house and the bottom? Yes. Yes, exactly. That's what you should do. That is what a shit ton of people did back then. That's why it's like, that's why I really don't discriminate. I do not discriminate on the nature of what you're like. Any house or building can become a business if you want it to, but you can also sleep upstairs. You know, it's like, hey, we're a bunch of dwarves doing dwarf craftsman things. We have our full crafts workshop downstairs, and we bunk hut up together because we're all good friends. We live upstairs in our our little apartments. Yeah, do that. It'll be great. Or hey, you just buy a little fucking rundown shack in the middle of nowhere, and it's like, yeah, I am a resident. I am literally buying a shithole that I have no intention of sleeping at. But I'm a legal citizen. That you can do that. You can commit tax evasion if you want. If you want to buy a shithole in the middle of the country that you don't want to go to, because it sucks, you don't need to. You can just say, fuck it. I literally bought a shitty deed, shitty land to avoid taxes. You can perform tax evasion. I encourage it even. Go for it. Commit tax evasion. This is real role playing where you commit tax evasion. The idea of the vagrant tax is I am effectively threatening you to be like, invest or leave. Or burn everything, burn all your money away, spend it on bullshit. And when Johnny Law shows up being like, cough up 30% of your money, you're like, okay, here's 3 gold. Because I have no money left, because I am poor, because I burnt it all on bullshit. They're like, oh, okay. Yeah, commit tax evasion. Do terrible things. Legitimately just be an asshole and fuck over other people because you're a bad person. Or just be morally upstanding and be a good person, because income tax does technically exist in this setting. It's great. Which you can avoid by being very good or being a dick. So, yeah, that's property taxes and incomes. We're going to be worrying about that. Dungeoneering, I'm gonna just muse a little bit about my ideas behind dungeoneering, because I was actually struggling a lot with this. This is one thing that I was actually having a lot of problems with. Because dungeoneering is a uniquely weird concept that doesn't exist in most games. And, of course, my boy Cole, the commissioner, decided to say, hey, I want to make this game on a hex grid game for traveling and a square grid for dungeons, because fuck me. So we do have the idea of like, I do know for a fact we're going to have the idea of like dungeon turns. Kind of like, as you move through, you kind of move through the dungeon doing things. We're inspecting rooms, we're getting into fights, you know how it goes. This is option A. Option B is option B is effectively abstract dungeons out. Abstract dungeons out and make individual areas effectively for adventuring. We do not talk about the hallway. We don't talk about the hallway. That the hallway is not an actual area. The actual area is a map, effectively. You're going through the dungeon, you go down to a map inside of the dungeon. I've been having some issues with this. I really don't know a good option for it. So I've been kind of just thinking on it. We did do a lot today, though. My throat's giving out, though, so I'm going to call it here. So thank you all for watching. Hope you had a good time. Friday we will continue with this. Hopefully I'll have dungeon turns kind of hammered out. Most likely I'll hammer out a few other things in between, but the goal currently is on Friday. Actually, we can get rid of this section. Get rid of this section. We're pretty much done there. Friday, if things go according to plan, we're going to do dungeoneering into combat. Combat's going to be the next kind of big problem child, but it shouldn't be too difficult to do. I know how it works. I like everything in Magic. Magic is just going to be time consuming. Equipment and gear is just going to be time consuming. That's the thing with it. These are time consuming, not difficult. I think I know how to do the simplified character sheets and in turn pets. I think I know how to do it. I think I need to write that down. I think I actually need to do a derive statistics. What I should do is maybe put a derive statistics thing like right here. And this is going to be things like number of pets. Kind of like, what are your number of pets? What's your carrying capacity? What is your, it's number of pets, carrying capacity. Generally speaking, I could probably add in, something else. I don't know though. I think there's something else I'm missing, but I don't know what it is. But yeah, I'm going to call it there. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you have a wonderful rest of your time. Godspeed. Good luck. Band mail armor. Yeah, probably. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do. It's legitimately going to be me. There's going to be a day, effectively, where I am going to go down a spreadsheet and just go over every single material, because I just have to do that. Because welcome to Elona. Alright, I'm away.